If you are experiencing foundation issues, get a free estimate from Ox Foundations.
Good morning to you, sir.
Well, good morning, Jimmy Dale. It's a beautiful day.
It is. One of your very own in Sylacauga, Lieutenant Donnie Lander, celebrating a birthday today.
That's what I understand.
68 years old. Wow. And he's been a long time. He's been a long time employee of the city, too.
Well, he has. He absolutely have. You know, we congratulate him for that many years.
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. Hey, a lot of good things going on in the city. We finished up the paving out on James Payton, and man, that's a smooth ride going across there now.
It's a smooth ride, and also what was added to it was the striping on 511.
Mm-hmm.
And just got the report yesterday in there, and that report came in underrun of $40,834.46. That was a terrific job that EEF&S Michael Rice has done for this city.
Did they get, you know, some of these contracts I've seen, if they come in under the number of days that they have, they get X amount more dollars.
Yeah, they do. And that helped. And he took care of about 30 miles of paving throughout the city. He did the same thing then. He was brought it in under the time limit, plus he was under budget.
Fantastic.
And now we're using him now. We're looking at the 2022 transportation grant throughout the city, and he's helping us with that. We're looking at 21 North, striping from County Road 24 all the way past Fairmont. We're looking at that to decrease the amount of accidents in that area.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of good things happening. We started off with 18 partials throughout the city in all 5 districts. When I say partial, take Overhill. Overhill, we say Overhill is one project. So that includes Overhill Run, Overhill Drive, Overhill Circle, and takes all that in. Since then, we've added 13 more streets to this project. And hopefully that we'll be able to get all these subdivisions and outward areas paved. We're going to have a beautiful city.
How are we coming with the projects downtown off of Norton and off of Broadway?
Brandy Robinson reported on that Tuesday week ago at the council meeting. That is handled by ED&T Engineering, and I really don't know. I haven't looked into it that deep, you know, but they're gradually moving forward with that. They mentioned something about concrete, you know, and other things, you know, we're looking at.
Yeah, and a number of people have asked about these projects going on now off of Broadway and off of Norton in the parking lot areas. Once it's said and done, it's going to look great.
Well, it is. It's going to look great. It's going to be more convenient for the public to be able to shop behind the stores. Mm-hmm. Handicap accessibility is a biggie. And that's another thing. When you got handicap accessibility, you got to have a certain amount of elevations.
Yeah.
There's a lot to be taken.
A lot of questions being asked about several happenings in our city. One of the questions I get asked quite a bit is about, will there be a red light at some point put there where James Payton, where the old Birmingham Highway goes over to James Payton?
Well, that's being looked at right now. And that's the reason the striping is laid out the way it is for that light. Mm-hmm. It will. It's coming in the future. That was part of the plan.
Well, let's get to something that is a very, very hot topic.
Okay.
And you have strong feelings about this, and that is the splash pad and the swimming pool, and moving forward. You want everybody on the same page with this, right?
Well, I would love to, but I get hit with it every day. It's every day, every morning. Even this morning I stopped by Spring Street at the cafeteria up there at the hospital, had a cup of coffee, and you get hit with it.
What are people saying to you, Mayor?
They don't want it. Basically, they say, we don't want it. Veto it. I can't veto it. The only thing I can veto is the ordinance or a resolution. Those are the only 2 things I can veto. Plus, if the council passes a big pay raise, something like that, I can veto that if it was necessary and put my 2 cents.
Is that frustrating to you, Mayor?
A little bit. I wish we could work a little bit closer together. I wish we could step back and look at this again, you know. But the pool's been sitting there for 2 years idle. Right now it's about half to 3/4 full of water. And there's been so many stories told. What I'm looking for is the engineer. Where is it? Where does it say this is happening? Where are the walls falling in? What are the issues, you know? But all things here, you know, it's hearsay. But I think this council is determined to go ahead and put that splash pad there. A drawing of the splash pad was presented to the council Tuesday week ago. it was a drawing, no engineering or anything else. They gave a copy to the code department. They looked at it and said, we can't do anything with this. It's nothing. It just says the Sylacauga splash pad, and it's just a drawing. Where's the engineering, the piping, the layout, the pumps, and all that? So I really don't know. It's.
You think that's forthcoming, though?
Well, I think they're going to have to if they're going to do it right. I mean, everything we do, you know, we got somebody called yesterday, said we're getting the prints for a new building that's going to be put down there in Fort Williams. That is all engineered and all. All these things. You got a planning commission. We come under the Alabama State Constitution, and we got a plan for this city, a book, and it says 1152:11, Section 6 just deals with the planning commission only, what the state says that you need to do if you got a comprehensive plan for your city. And it said, basically what the thing says in a big paragraph says, anything that goes up or anything that goes down, it needs to go through the planning commission first.
Wow.
And, but we need to do that. And then it goes with the planning commission, and then the drawings, from the engineering drawings, the engineer needs to sign off on it, he needs to have his stamp on there, and he needs to present it to the code department. And they will look at it and make sure that all the details in that plan fits the Alabama State Code. And we are under the 2015 Alabama State Building Code. So if it's going to be done right, that's where it needs to go.
Have you shared your thoughts with the council about this?
I wrote a letter to the council a couple of weeks ago, and one made a statement that all that has been covered and documented all, but I can't find the documentation, so that's...
Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl joins us, and I do understand that the pricing for the splash pad project continues to tick up a little bit.
Well, it does. I haven't seen the other figures. I know what they spent on the Food World building, you know, and it was questioned there. They upped that price about $20,000. And of course, we had two council persons that voted against it because they couldn't explain why the 20 increase, you know. But that's something the council's going to have. It's in their court. They're going to have to handle that.
Well, here we are, mid-August. Yeah. Schools are starting back.
Oh boy, that was a great one.
And you know, a splash pad, to most people, you would think, well, that wouldn't be a project that's going to be used until next year.
That's right, it won't.
I mean, really, but
well, my consensus, you know, that we do everything to maintain the pool 2 years ago, just maintain it for a couple of 3 years until you had time to get your engineering and all set up for the new community center and the indoor pool. But they decided to go the other way, just put a splash pad there and use that until they get a community center going. But speaking of the schools, I was down there yesterday a week ago, and I tell you, Dr. Eller, she brought in John Foley. He's a naval aviator with the Blue Angels. And I tell you what, the excitement, all the principals, the staffs, all the teachers that were there, and the electricity in that building was just I wanted to go back to school. I tell you, it was, it was something. And Dr. Eller, she's doing a great job with that. And one of the things that sticks in my mind is here you got these four Blue Angel pilots flying 1,000 miles an hour, stacked on top of each other, 18 inches apart.
You got to be good to do that.
Well, Dr. Ellis says that's the way we're going to operate. That's how close we're going to be going through the school system. I'm so proud of our school system. It's unbelievable. I mean, it was so inspirational. It's unbelievable. And
speaking of school systems, school has started. This Delta variant is attacking much younger people than the COVID-19 previous.
You know why?
And that's got to be a concern.
You go back to look at communists and the socialist countries up there. They get their people, they're young. By the time they get up there, they believe all this stuff because they were taught at this age, and that's how they indoctrinate a lot of these people. People in North Korea, they have no idea what's going on in this world because they've already been indoctrinated into this area, and they've kept this stuff away from them. They're only taught one thing, and it happens. We need to learn from our history and what we've seen throughout this world, and what man has done, you know, how countries have been built. we got a great opportunity in this nation with the freedom that we have. We need to appreciate it because freedom is, you can lose it within one generation.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm afraid is happening. The younger generation getting indoctrinated to a point that by the time they get as old as we are, I mean, they're not going to know what freedom is.
Children's Hospital in Birmingham, 22 children with COVID and 5 in the intensive care unit. And I talked with Dr. Ellers some weeks ago, and you know, it's a fluid thing, just like it was last year, about how we're going to handle this. But certainly, it wouldn't be a good thing for us to close down our schools again and go to virtual learning. We got to get around this somehow.
Well, we do. And spacing is one of the biggest things, and sanitation, you know, is another big thing. And masking, it's controversial whether masking helps or not. But if you feel comfortable doing it, mask. You know, we've had 3 cases at City Hall. Well, one was in the street department, police department, and we had one in the code department. And so, but we got everything cleaned up. We're going back to our standards of maintaining everything as we did prior last year. But in our areas, we got 6 positive at Coosa Valley Medical Center, 4 are on the COVID floor, and 2 are in ICU.
That's better than it was.
It's better than it was the first of the week because you had 2 vented. You had 4 in ICU and 2 vented. Mm-hmm. So it has improved. But it always seems like here we had the big 4th of July, everybody running the beach and everything else. Next thing you know, poof, we got a big spike.
Yeah, we got Labor Day coming up too.
Well, we do. I don't think Labor Day is, well, it could be, you know, a lot of people cook out and get together. But we just got to use common sense.
Yeah.
And be careful with what we do.
You mentioned earlier, and the council approved the dollars, I think, to demolish the old Food World building.
They did.
What is that saying? Is that saying that we're moving forward on that slot for something, or are we just getting rid of that building?
Well, I think they're determined, just read between the lines, they're going to go ahead and put the community center there. They're going to tear down the Food World building. Now,
and I agree, it needs to come down.
well, yeah. Well, it's a very strong structure.
Really?
It's built better and stronger than some of the other buildings we got on Broadway and Norton. But anyway, that's beside the point. But I think they're going to take it down. They're putting out bids to see exactly what it's going to cost to do it. Somebody's going to have to go in there and make sure there's no asbestos in there. The city's going to have to be responsible for that and get that out of there. Mm-hmm. They're also going to probably need to look at, when they start breaking that ground over there, that used to be a munitions plant over there. And somebody's going to have to look at the EMA and environmental part of it, because part of the wall of the old shell plant is still there, you know, on the south end of the parking lot. All that's going to have to be taken into consideration when they start tearing this thing down. What are we opening up here?
Mayor, I see it from broadcasting, and I see it with social media of people who are constantly bringing up these topics. And it appears, just from these people that I see and read about and come to me with, they're losing confidence as to, hey, what are we doing here?
Where is our comprehensive plan? What is our long-range plans for this stuff? Where is it? Why are we just taking this step here this time? And I didn't even know about the tearing down of the Food World building until Brandy Robinson of ED&T mentioned something about it, you know.
And you're the CEO of the city. One other topic that you know we're not going to linger with this morning. There's some challenges in our city, but there's some great things happening.
Oh yeah,
in our city.
That's what I want to focus on.
And we want to do that this morning. And I know that there's been a lot of you have had conversations and wondered about the plot out on Highway 280 that is going to be a grocery store. That is ongoing. That is still going to take place, and you got to be careful about what you read into things.
Well, you do. You have to be very careful, you know. But if you got issues with it, get a hold of your councilman. Write them letters, call them, text them, Facebook them, or whatever you want to do to get in touch with him, you know. But they're the ones that has to. I have to go to them right now. We got our budget. Well, this was the quarterly budget we picked up here today. We're doing pretty good financially. And we just need to be careful how we're spending our money.
Sure.
We need a goal to go for, and everybody needs to be out. Just like Dr. Ellis says, we're going to get within 18 inches of each other, and we're going to go forward. We're going to know what we're going to do, and that's what we need to do. The council, the executive and legislative branch of the city government needs to work together. But they got to know what's going on.
Absolutely.
You don't need to be meeting over here and then coming into a meeting and say, here it is.
That's where you lose the trust of people.
Well, you do. And it's and the people have a right to know. It's their tax money.
Absolutely, absolutely. A couple of other good things are going on in our city.
Well, like I mentioned, that's all the areas that we picked up, the 18, we added 13 more streets to that for paving for 2022. We're looking at all that. We got a call yesterday. We're going to have a new building built on Fort Williams, a new place that I think people are going to enjoy. Like I said, the grocery store, that's ongoing. You don't have to worry about that. The people just need time. There's a lot of stuff you have to go through, And of course, the Armory.
Red tape in it, isn't it?
And as you know, the American Legion has acquired the Armory. That was given to the government back in 46, for $1, and it came back to the American Legion. And
you're about 25 and 46, somewhere right in there.
Yeah, something like that. I can't remember.
Yeah, we had a couple of guys on to talk about that. That's a big plus.
Yeah, well, that's a big thing, but we're going to have to either lease it or sell it. That's what's going. What can you use it for? I'd like to see some nice small business come in there, cabinet shop or machine shop or something like that. It'd be great for that, But this is the only second one in the state of Alabama like this. There's one more in another county that went back to the veterans, and all the rest of them still belong to the state. But the reason they're doing this, they came to me first and told me about it. They wanted me to know that you will no longer have a National Guard unit in your city. So anything that you refer to the governor will also know that. And then, of course, I notified the John Hall and them, let them know that they were vacating it. And they've got a committee now. They handle that now. They'll be handling the deeds. They'll have it recorded, and we'll have to maintain the grounds for the time being until they decide exactly what they want to do with it. And the body will make that decision.
Has Mayor, shifting gears a little bit, has the new garbage company, is that working out pretty good?
As far as I'm concerned, it is. I haven't heard of complaints. It's held through the clerk's office now. It used to be held upstairs a couple of years ago, but now it needs to be held. We got a special person down there handling that. I really hadn't heard about that many complaints.
I don't have any complaints about it. They've done well.
I don't either. I've never had any issues either. I think one of the council persons mentioned the fact that they broke the wheel off of her cart, but that's something we don't know why. It could have been a mechanical issue or something like that, but they're taking care of it. I don't hear the complaints that we used to have. They're doing a lot better.
Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl, our guest this morning. It's always a pleasure to have Mayor Heigl. He's always been forthcoming. He's always been helpful in sometimes calming the frayed nerves of people, and some of our viewers this morning, their nerves are frayed about some of the items that's happening in our city. One other thing before we go. Getting back to the splash pad and the pool, which we can't seem to get away from, one of the questions that's posed to me almost weekly is, well, if this comes to pass and they build a new complex, what happens with the building that they're currently in now with the Recreation Department?
I asked that question before, and I said, why are we getting rid of it? And they say it was too small. Too small for what? I said, you got the Church of the Highlands in there. They got 300 to 500 people in that thing, and that's the biggest crowd they have every Saturday or Sunday. Rather,
and they pay good money to be in that building.
$5,000 a month. And I think we just need to step back and take a good look at our recreational systems, and see where we're going to go, where we want to go, Take a good look at Lake Howard. Thank goodness we got that thing. Wasn't under LWCF grants. I would say when I came in 2017, the first thing I asked the city clerk at that time to go ahead and get a hold of the council and the three members of the utilities board, and let's reactivate the Lake Howard Authority, and that's how we were able to get that all cleaned up and straightened out. Now she's in great shape, and we got a good director over there with Billy Beam watching after that lake.
As the mayor of Sylacauga, it is your duty to present the budget to the council, and that's coming up real soon, too.
It is. Every department is finished with it. It's in the hands of the city what they call her now, I forget what, the Yolanda Burns, the accounting clerk. It's in her, she'll meet with each department and lay it all out, and I want it in the hands of the council next month. They'll give them the whole month to go through it, and then by October, when our new year starts, hopefully they'll already be ready to vote on it and accept it and move forward without having to come back. You know.
All right.
So we're timing it out that way.
Oh, yeah. Sylacauga Mayor Jim Heigl with us this morning. Mayor, always a pleasure. Thank you for coming this morning.
It's my pleasure too, Jimmy. But if you got issues with anything in the city, regardless of what it is, get a hold of your councilman. That's what you elected them for. Bang on the doors, call them, whatever you got to do. But carry them.
Let me just add this too.
And I'll be glad to receive any complaints you've got. So just call me.
Your city councilman and your mayor.
Executive
are for the people. You voted them in, and you have a right to ask hard questions to the council and to the mayor.
Absolutely.
And it's their obligation to answer those questions and to act on your concerns. It's not that, hey, we've been elected, so we're going to do whatever we want to do. These voting populace, they got good memories.
Yeah, they sure have. And they'll remember it when it comes time.
All right. Mayor, thanks a lot for being with us this morning.
Thank you again, Jimmy.
More Daybreak coming up right after this.